Hi, this is Becky with Icing on Top Becky's Cakes, and today we're going to do buttercream flowers. These are the 4 that I picked, and I like to get my inspiration from real life flowers. So we're going to do that pansy right there, the purple and yellow one. And I'm going to start by getting out my cupcakes. Then I have 2 tips, the 124 from Wilton and the 125, both rose tips, just one is slightly larger than the other one. Then I have my AmeriColor Regal Purple, some toothpicks for today, and then my piping bags. And then we're going to cut the piping bag to fit our tip so that our tip rests just halfway through, but not big enough that our tip will pop right out as soon as we make the first squeeze. So you can always cut off more if you're afraid of cutting off too much. So you can send your tip through, and if it looks like you can't quite squeeze it through the end, then try to cut off a little more. We're going to want to squish it through so that it's nice and firmly in there and that it won't move around. So I put in the large tip first, and then we're going to fold the bag in half, and we're going to put in the solid purple icing in this bag. We're putting it in the bag with the large tip. Then we're going to shake that icing right down and then squeeze the icing down. And that's Elena you hear. And then I twist the end of the bag so that the icing stays in place. We're going to do the exact same thing with the other bag, but we're not going to put the icing in yet. This one is going to be a little different. That way we get all the colors in this bag. Well, if you notice, we have the narrow end on a seam and the large end on a seam. And we're going to want the purple end of this coloring to be on that narrow end. So first we're going to get out some saran wrap. It's just a square of regular saran wrap, and we're going to put 3 stripes of 3 different colors on it, right on top of each other. Now I already have it in piping bags, so that makes it pretty easy to make a nice line. So first we'll start with the purple. I'm going to make a little thicker of a line there. And then I'm going to want to put white down as a buffer between my purple and yellow, just so they don't get muddy looking when they mesh together. Then I'll grab my yellow and put that right on top of the white. Make a thicker line of that too, because I want that yellow to really come through. Kind of holding up my bag so that it doesn't tip over on itself quite yet, because we're going to put it together, fold it over, and roll it in there. And then I'm kind of smoothing it out so those icings kind of stick together now, right where I want them to be. And then I'm going to twist one of the ends, the end that I don't want the icing coming out. And then the end that I want the icing coming out, we're going to cut that end and make sure that the purple is going to be on the narrow end and the yellow is going to be on the thick end. So when we feed it in, we want to make sure we get it in the right way. So I first cut that off so that the icing will come through without a problem. And then I'm going to shake it down and squeeze it down just like I would if I was putting in regular icing. Then you're also going to want to twist that bag to keep your icing going down the way you want it to. Also, when you twist the bag and keeps the icing down, then all you have to do is apply pressure from the top, and that's really what you want. Now we're going to do a test squeeze to make sure the colors are coming out the way that we want before we actually pipe it onto the cupcake. And we always pivot and keep the purple toward the outside. And there's the first petal then. Now on the cupcake itself, I'm going to rub on a thin layer of buttercream so that the petals have somewhere to stick. Now I'm going to grab the solid purple, larger tipped one, and we're going to do the first two petals at the top, just like in the picture of what the pansy looks like there. I'm going to squeeze it out, keeping that narrow end to the outside. And I'm just kind of pivoting my wrist as we do this. Just keeping the narrow end to the outside. And I overlap those petals just slightly, if you can tell. Then we're going to get the colored one. We're going to do the same motion, keeping the purple to the outside, that's the narrow tip, and just pivot that petal all the way around. And then you just release the pressure when you want it to stop piping. And we're going to do it directly opposite. And then we do the one in the middle. That way the middle one is over the top, the side two. Now that we have that done, we're going to get out our gel again, and we're going to squirt it onto our paper plate. And with that, we're going to use the toothpicks that we had, and we're going to make those little lines that you saw in the picture of the pansy. It had those dark purple lines. So in order to look at most like the picture as possible, we're just going to apply those very lightly with the toothpick. And there is our buttercream pansy. Now we have 3 other flowers in that clip that you first saw, and I'll be having several other videos to show those other buttercream flowers. So if you're interested in learning more about the other ones, please subscribe to my channel and check them out. But there's the pansy. I really like this one. And here's all my flowers together. Thanks for watching.